You ever get that feeling that there's maybe more to financial freedom than just, your regular paycheck?
Oh, absolutely.
Like there are these unseen forces, maybe little hints in your daily life, things that point towards building real wealth down the road.
Yeah, definitely. It's like looking for the signs.
That's exactly what we're diving into today. We're not just scratching the surface of income. We're going deep on the subtle signals, those underlying indicators that often show up before significant financial success.
Exactly. Think of it less as looking at your current bank balance, more like analyzing the roots of a potentially very fruitful tree,
Yeah.
We've got this really thought-provoking piece, 10 Signs You Will Be Rich, and it lays out some, fascinating habits and mindsets, things that tend to be pretty strong predictors of future financial well-being.
Precisely. And this isn't about some overnight miracle, right? It's about recognizing those tendencies, those approaches you might already have that are actually powerful clues about your potential to build wealth. So our mission in this deep dive, it's to unpack these 10 signs one by one and really help you identify which of these might already be part of your approach to life.
It's kind of like getting a personalized forecast.
Yeah, a forecast of your financial future. Okay, let's start by unpacking the first sign, long-term thinking.
Right. And it's interesting to consider how fundamental this truly is. The source highlights that a key difference. It often lies in their ability to focus on goals that are years, maybe even a decade away. It really boils down to asking yourself those, big picture questions. Where do you see yourself financially way down the line?
Right.
And what actions, maybe even small ones, can you take today to move closer to that vision?
Yeah, it's that classic idea, isn't it? Delaying the immediate gratification for a much larger future reward.
Exactly.
The piece gives some really relatable examples, maybe passing on the latest gadget, if that money could be better used, say, investing in learning a new skill, something that could pay off later.
Or, prioritizing focused work on a side project, even when there are, more immediately fun things pulling at you.
Yeah, it's not about totally depriving yourself. It's more about keeping your focus locked on that bigger future outcome.
Right.
So for you listening, think about it. When you make decisions, are they mainly driven by what feels good right now? Or are you consciously thinking about their impact on your long-term goals?
And if we connect this to the bigger picture, it's about understanding the power of compounding.
Oh, interesting.
We often think of compounding just for financial investments, earning returns.
Yeah.
But it also applies to your skills, your network, the opportunities you build over time, those consistent efforts. When they're aimed at a long-term vision, they just amplify in a really remarkable way.
That makes a lot of sense. All right, let's dive into sign number 2, obsession with learning. This is one I personally find really energizing. It speaks to that basic human drive to understand and grow.
Absolutely. And the piece makes a really crucial point here. This isn't just about racking up degrees or formal education.
No, not necessarily.
While that has its place, of course, this sign really points to an inherent curiosity, like an insatiable hunger for knowledge in all its forms.
Exactly. It's about being that kind of person who always has, an article bookmarked or is queuing up informative videos, who sees a gap in their knowledge and immediately thinks, okay, how can I figure this out?
Yeah.
That proactive approach, just seeking answers, refusing to stay in the dark, that feels like a really powerful indicator.
Yeah, it does.
So for you tuning in, does that resonate? That desire to quickly get up to speed on new areas, to really satisfy that intellectual curiosity?
And it's interesting, in today's world, things are changing so fast.
I'm stuck.
So this drive to learn isn't just for personal enrichment anymore. It's actually a vital tool for staying relevant, for being adaptable. Those who are constantly seeking new info, new skills, they're just much better positioned to spot opportunities and navigate change.
Very true. Okay, sign number 3. This is something I think a lot of people might connect with, especially if you've ever looked at the way things are supposed to be done and thought, is there maybe a better way? It's questioning the system.
Right. This is where that critical thinking muscle really gets flexed.
Yeah.
The source highlights that individuals on the path to wealth, they often look at established norms, like the traditional 9-to-5 or conventional financial advice, and they don't just accept it at face value.
They poke at it a bit.
Exactly. They ask, Why is this the standard? Does it truly make the most sense for me?
Right. It's not about being contrary just for the sake of it, is it?
No, yeah.
It's more about a fundamental curiosity about the underlying assumptions. Why do we do it this way?
The piece even raises a really interesting question. Why aren't essential life skills like, say, investing or starting a business typically core subjects in standard education?
That's a great question. It really makes you think.
Yeah.
It's about developing that habit of not just following the path, but understanding why the path exists and, well, whether an alternative might actually be more effective for your own goals.
Definitely.
For anyone, prepping for a strategic discussion or trying to see a problem from a fresh angle, this mindset of questioning the status quo, that could be incredibly valuable.
And it's interesting, isn't it? Significant advancements, major innovations, they often come from challenging the existing ways of doing things.
True.
Wealth creation itself frequently involves finding those inefficiencies or unmet needs within current systems and then developing new solutions. That all starts with being willing to question how things are currently set up.
Okay, all right, moving on to sign number 4. This one I think is super practical, really within everyone's reach. Focus on building, not consuming. This just boils down to being a creator, right?
Honestly. Yeah, the contrast here is pretty stark when you think about it.
How so?
Well, on one side, you've got the passive intake, information, entertainment, endless scrolling, binge-watching shows. You know the drill.
Oh yeah, we all do it.
But on the other side, you have actively creating something. Writing, maybe developing a product, starting a service, coding an app, selling something valuable. Building, and the source really hammers this point home. Individuals who build wealth are generally those who are actively contributing value to the world. They're producing more than they're just, well, taking in or consuming.
So for you listening, maybe it's a good exercise to just reflect on how you spend your time, like your daily activities. Are they mostly centered around consuming what others have created?
Right.
Or are you actively engaged in building something? Something that has the potential to generate value in the future?
It really raises that fundamental question about where our energy goes, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Are we mostly in a receptive mode, just taking things in, or are we actively in a generative mode, putting things out there? That shift from being primarily a consumer to actively being a builder. That's often a key differentiator on the journey to financial independence.
Sign number 5 is one I find particularly insightful. It's all about a shift in perspective. Seeing problems as opportunities. This is where those aha moments of potential really kick in.
Absolutely. The piece highlights that, while many people hit a challenge and just see a roadblock, a dead end.
Right. Frustrating.
Someone with that wealth-building mindset often looks at the same obstacle and sees, well, a puzzle to be solved. A need that isn't being met properly.
Exactly. So many successful ventures, when you trace them back, they started with someone spotting a frustration, maybe an inefficiency, and then figuring out a solution. The source gives great examples. Uber tackling transportation hassles, Airbnb rethinking travel lodging, Amazon streamlining shopping.
Yeah, the big ones.
Every major success story really is about solving a problem for a whole lot of people. So if you find your mind naturally kind of gravitating towards identifying areas for improvement and thinking about how things could be done better, that's a really strong indicator right there.
And it's interesting to think about this not just on a huge scale, like those examples.
Yeah, good point.
Even in your immediate environment, spotting a problem at work or in your community and developing a practical solution, that can be a powerful wealth-building activity, even if it starts small. It's about that proactive mindset, finding needs and figuring out how to fill them.
Okay, sign number 6. This shifts our focus to a resource that is, well, arguably our most valuable one, valuing time over money.
This is such a critical understanding. Yeah. The source really emphasizes that while, financial resources can be earned back, can be replenished.
Right.
Time is totally finite. Once it's spent, it's gone forever.
Right. It's that realization hitting you, your hours in a day are limited, so you start to prioritize how you spend them, how you allocate them. The example of choosing to pay for a service, like maybe getting your house clean.
Yeah, or lawn mowing.
Exactly. So you can free up that time to dedicate to something with higher value, like working on your business, or even just quality time with family. That really illustrates it.
It does.
It's about consciously deciding, okay, when does it make sense to trade money for my time back? And focusing on activities that give you greater long-term returns, whether that's financial or personal.
Right.
And this definitely connects with that desire for a pace of life that, respects your time and lets you focus on what truly matters to you.
It raises an important question, I think, about how we truly value our own time.
How so?
Well, are we sometimes so focused on minimizing immediate costs, pinching pennies right now, that we accidentally sacrifice our time? Time that could have been used for activities that generate far greater value in the long run.
That's a really sharp point, yeah.
Understanding the real worth of your time, that's a hallmark of this mindset.
Sign number 7 really highlights the importance of our environment, the people around us. Surrounding yourself with growth-minded people. This one always reminds me of just how much we're influenced by who we spend time with.
Absolutely. The source touches on this idea that your network, it isn't just about who you know professionally, like for job leads or something.
No, it's deeper than that.
It's about the collective mindset, the ambitions, the energy of the people you associate with regularly. There's a powerful influence there, subtle or not.
It's that old idea, right? That both success and even negativity can be kind of contagious.
Yeah, very much so.
The piece talks about intentionally seeking out people who are ambitious, positive, forward-thinking, and maybe being more mindful about the time spent with those who tend to be consistently negative or lack that drive.
It's about curating your circle.
Yeah. Actively looking for mentors, maybe joining communities online or offline that challenge your thinking and push you to aim higher. That's a key part of it.
Definitely.
So for anyone listening who's looking to gain new perspectives or kind of elevate their own game, this really highlights the profound impact of your social circles, your professional connections.
And it's interesting, isn't it, when you're in an environment where growth and ambition are just the norm, it subtly shifts your own beliefs about what's possible, your own expectations. It creates this supportive ecosystem where new ideas get encouraged and challenges are seen more as opportunities to learn and develop.
Okay, all right, let's move on to sign number 8. This one, for some, might feel a little outside the comfort zone, maybe. But it's often a crucial element, taking calculated risks.
And the emphasis there is definitely on calculated, right?
Absolutely.
This isn't about being impulsive or making reckless bets. It's about a willingness to step outside of what feels safe and familiar. But after thoughtfully assessing the potential downsides and, of course, the potential rewards.
Exactly. It's smart risk, not just any risk.
Yeah.
The source gives examples like investing in your own skills through more education or training, venturing into starting your own business, or even making that leap, leaving a stable job for a potentially much better opportunity.
Right? Those big moves.
These decisions often involve some uncertainty, no doubt, but they're made after carefully considering the potential outcomes, weighing the pros and cons.
Meticulously, sometimes.
So for those listening who might feel a bit hesitant about change, maybe a bit risk-averse, it's important to recognize that significant growth often happens when you're willing to venture beyond the boundaries of your current comfort zone.
It raises an important question about our own relationship with risk, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Are we letting the fear of maybe failing hold us back from pursuing opportunities that could actually lead to huge advancements? Learning how to assess and manage risks smartly, that's a key skill in building wealth.
Yeah, okay. Sign number 9. This one really gets to the core of what drives us, our motivation. Having a clear why. This is about what's really pushing you beyond just accumulating money itself.
This is where the journey towards financial success becomes, well, deeply personal, really meaningful.
Yeah.
The source points out that for people who achieve lasting wealth, their driving force often goes way beyond simply wanting to be rich.
It's usually tied to something deeper.
Exactly, deeper values, like providing security for their family, maybe breaking negative generational patterns, or just gaining more autonomy, more freedom in their lives.
But why? It acts like your internal engine, right? Your source of resilience when you inevitably hit those bumps in the road, those setbacks.
Totally. The piece emphasizes that this deeper purpose is what fuels your perseverance on those tough days. You know, when you might feel discouraged or tempted to just throw in the towel.
You all have those days.
We do.
So for you listening, I'd really encourage you to reflect on your own underlying motivations. is there a powerful why that truly resonates deep down?
Yeah.
Something that ignites a passion that, mere financial gain alone just can't provide.
And it's interesting to consider that link between purpose and resilience.
How so?
When your actions are really aligned with a why that you feel deeply, you're just far more likely to navigate the obstacles, stay focused on the long-term vision, and ultimately, achieve your goals.
That makes perfect sense. Okay, and finally, we arrive at sign number 10.
Yeah.
Which I think is incredibly empowering. Not settling for average. This is that kind of intrinsic belief in your own potential and just a refusal to accept mediocrity.
This is that inner conviction, right? That deep-seated belief that you are capable of achieving more than just the status quo, more than what's considered normal.
Yeah.
The source highlights that this isn't really about seeking external validation or constantly comparing yourself to others.
No.
It's an internal drive, a personal refusal to accept limitations, even when you're faced with tough circumstances right now, or maybe doubts from people around you.
It's that feeling you might have, that kind of quiet knowing inside that you're meant for more, that you have this untapped potential.
Exactly.
It's seeing other people achieve significant things and thinking, okay, if they can do it, why not me?
Right, why not?
The source suggests that this internal drive is a really significant differentiator, that this refusal to just settle, it's a key characteristic of those who ultimately achieve remarkable success. And for anyone listening who has that insatiable curiosity about what's truly possible, this taps right into that inherent desire for growth and achievement.
It raises a final, really crucial question about our own self-belief, I think.
Which is,
do we genuinely believe in our capacity for more? Or have we perhaps maybe unconsciously lowered our expectations and kind of settled for less than what we're truly capable of achieving? That internal conviction, it's an incredibly powerful force in shaping our reality.
Wow. Okay, so let's just quickly recap those 10 signs of future wealth we've explored in this deep dive. We had focusing on long-term thinking,
Cultivating a love of learning,
questioning the system,
prioritizing building over
seeing problems as opportunities,
valuing your time,
surrounding yourself with growth-minded people,
taking calculated risks,
having a clear why.
and that powerful inner drive to not settle for average. Phew.
That's quite a list.
It is. And what's really encouraging to think about is that even recognizing just a few of these tendencies in your own life, it suggests a significant underlying potential for creating wealth.
Yeah.
As the source emphasizes, building wealth really does start with a certain mindset. And consistently nurturing these habits, well, that can create a very strong foundation for future success.
Exactly. It's not necessarily about having all 10 perfectly lined up right now.
Not at all. It's about direction.
Right. So here's a final thought for you to maybe really consider. In what specific ways might consciously cultivating even just one of these 10 mindsets, starting today in your daily life, how might that create a meaningful and lasting shift in your long-term trajectory? It's a powerful question to just, sit with and explore for yourself.